Please welcome to the stage INTA CEO, Etienne Sanz de Acedo.
Good afternoon. Hi everyone, welcome to San Diego. Welcome to our 147th annual meeting. We celebrated our annual meeting in 2005, in 2015, in 2025. It seems there is a love story between INTA and San Diego. So who knows? Let me start by thanking our platinum sponsors, AIP, Amazon, Brand Shield. I also would like to particularly thank the annual meeting project team led by Jill and Ocam. I also would like to thank all speakers, our panelists, including our keynote speaker, Louis Felton. And of course, I would like to recognize all INTA staff, because without them, it would be absolutely impossible to put together this meeting, this show today. Elizabeth mentioned before many women leaders within INTA. I would like to thank Elizabeth for her friendship, for her support, for her leadership, and for her inspiration to all of us, not just today, but through all her career at INTA. Thank you. And of course, I want to thank you all. More than 10,000 registrants from 140 plus countries. We have more than 1,000 corporate representatives and approximately 160 government officials from all around the world. So good reasons to celebrate. Thank you. Now, last year, here on stage, I shared with you INTA's journey through the pandemic. I emphasized at that time that the association continues having, a strong foundation and a bright future. Well, a year later, it seems that there are a little more clouds. So let's talk a little about those clouds. Let's look at the world today, at what it means for intellectual property, and more importantly, at how are we going to respond to that as an association, as a community. So let me take you briefly through that journey. Multilateralism, the concept of cooperation, compromise, coordination between member states around the world is somehow fading. Just in 2023, there were more than 30 bilateral one-to-one member states agreements versus only 5 global agreements. And more importantly, today we're facing major conflicts, tensions, wars in Ukraine, in Gaza, in Sudan, and more recently in Kashmir. Now, in addition to that, technology is absolutely changing our lives. AI, and you can see the diagrams behind me, is absolutely changing the job market, particularly impacting on recent graduates. It's also changing the way companies are behaving and embracing technology. And we're already seeing that AI is increasingly outperforming humans on several tasks. Now, in addition to that, fundamental values are under threat. Peace, freedom, democracy, multilateralism, justice, sustainability, equity, and prosperity. So somehow, as a consequence of all that, consumer confidence is in sharp decline. It has been declining for 5 consecutive months, and it's reaching its lowest level since the pandemic. And in parallel to that, we see that global economic growth is under threat. Since January 1st, we've seen global markets behaving as roller coasters, and that is impacting on company values, on company budgets, but it's also impacting the savings of individuals. So how is all that also impacting our industry? How is that really reflecting on us as an IP ecosystem? Well, first and foremost, technology is already impacting intellectual property. You just need to go to the exhibition floor, to the innovation marketplace. It's all about AI. Let me give you just two figures. AI patents granted in 2010 were just 3,800 globally. In 2023, there were more than 122,000 AI patents. In addition to that, national pride is growing. We're seeing a significant surge in patriotism that is somehow influencing consumer preferences. This percentage, that is really scary, is just from a few months ago. More importantly, IP rights are being questioned. Many of you saw that. What is really striking about that is that it received more than 12 million views and a widespread media coverage. Now, let me make a pause here and really thank those IP leaders within our community who stood up to defend and promote IP under such circumstances. And we really need to recognize those. Thank you to them. Another consequence that we're noticing is that there is the potential risk for IP rights to be weaponized. Trade wars are not anymore just about physical goods and services. IP rights could definitely become a powerful weapon. All this might seem a little pessimistic, but no, there are still good reasons for optimism, and that's the most important one. And it's the fact that business remains the most valued institution. And when we talk about business, we talk about brands, because brands encompass such trust. And at the same time I'm mentioning that, we should remind how critical IP rights are to our major economies. Reports by the US Department of Commerce and by the EU IP Observatory identified the contribution of IPR-intensive industries, and I'm referring to trademarks, designs, patents, and copyrights, and their contribution on GDP, on employment, and on social welfare. So, with all this said, how should we react? How should we position ourselves as an organization and as a community? You've probably noticed that the sky is getting blue again, and there is a good reason for that. Why? Because we're a very solid organization and because we're well prepared. And let me tell you why. First, let's remember who we are. We're a global association of IP professionals who care about brands, IP, and consumers. But we're also a very forward-thinking organization that projects itself into the future. And last but not least, we're a global community, a big family that is open, tolerant, respectful, welcoming, and diverse. Just yesterday, we had the Rising Stars reception, and I approached different groups of people, and I had the chance to meet two young ladies. One was from Africa. The other one was from India. They had never met before. They were recognized as rising stars at INTA. They met at that reception. They started a relationship that will be a friendship and a bond that will last for life, as it has happened to many of us here at INTA. Now, on top of reminding who we are, we absolutely need to stick to our values. And here you have an example of such values: belonging and inclusion, CSR, pro bono, and thinking and supporting the next generation. And last but not least, let's never forget that we are, as an organization, a citizen of the world. And that means that we have a strong foundation, and at the same time, we also have, and we're very fortunate to have, a roadmap that is guiding us. That roadmap is our strategic plan 2026-2029. I would like to take a moment to thank many people who have been working to put together this strategic plan. I should certainly start with Elizabeth Stewart Bradley, with Dana Northcott, and with many more presidents and members of the planning committee at INTA who have been working and brainstorming as to what should be the future for our association. After more than 2 years of brainstorming, conversations with members, non-members, IP community, non-IP community, younger generation, elder generation, we came together with a new mission statement for our association. INTA is a global association of brand owners and IP professionals committed to elevating the understanding of and respect for IP rights, to foster consumer trust, economic growth, and societal transformation. This mission statement translates into 3 main strategic directions. And those 3 strategic directions are intended to help us remain influential as we advance and protect intellectual property, as we support our members, and as we make a positive impact on the IP community. So let me perhaps deep dive in each of those strategic directions. As you can see, the first one is about championing the value of intellectual property in support of brands and consumers. Yes, of course, we're an international trademark association. Yes, of course, we started with trademarks. But a few years ago, we started a journey, and we moved into brands. Well, perhaps today it's time to take a further step, which is looking at intellectual property in a more holistic way. We cannot just look at trademarks or designs or copyrights or trade secrets or even patents. We need to start looking at them all together. And we really need to think and behave the same way businesses are thinking and behaving. So our first strategic direction is really a call on INTA to advocate for harmonization, simplification, accessibility, and integrity of IP protection. But it's also a call to defend and enforce IP rights. It's a call to promote and reinforce the economic impact of intellectual property. And it's also a call to embrace transformation and change. Now, strategic direction number 2 is about driving the advancement of members and of the association. INTA would be absolutely nothing without you. We're a member-driven organization. We're a committee-driven organization. And it's absolutely incredible to see the commitment, the dedication, the passion that you all put into INTA. We can only thank you for that. Now, strategic direction number 2 is a call on us to guide and empower members as the business and legal environment transforms. It's also a call to transform that member experience. And more importantly, we're all together starting to build the INTA of the future. And finally, strategic direction number 3 is about the concept of being a responsible global corporate citizen. And that means really serving our IP community, upholding principles of belonging and inclusion, promoting ESG and sustainability, and communicating the value of intellectual property at large to the general public and particularly to the businesses. So once we've looked into our new mission statement, once we've presented our new strategic plan, now we really need to start working, which basically means we will be producing an implementation plan of the new strategic plan that will be informing the work of the new committees. And that also means that somehow we're going to be evolving a little our committee structure so that we're really adapted to those new times. And since I'm talking about the future, it's probably time to kind of look ahead and look at what's going to happen very soon. First of all, we're thrilled to announce the opening of our Middle East and North Africa rep office that will be hosted in Dubai, starting as of September, October of this year. I know this is the part that everybody is waiting for, so I'm going to get into that. Second, of course, is our trademark administrators and practitioners meeting that will be in Berlin, September 28th to the 30th. It's a great opportunity to reconnect with our EU members, our EU friends, but also authorities and officials in Europe at large. Leadership meeting, as you all know, will be in Hollywood, Florida. It will be November 18th to the 21st, and registration opens on July 9th. And I should be announcing, I beg your pardon, I perhaps should be confirming what social media have been much quicker than us in announcing. So I wish you will all be there. I look forward to seeing you in London next year. And before that, I wish you a great annual meeting. Enjoy San Diego. Thank you so much.